I just got home from doing retail arbitrage at Ross for my Amazon business, and in this video, I am going to share with you 8 products that I found that can be resold onto Amazon for a profit. Make sure you watch this video all the way through because the 9th item I'm going to share with you looks good on the surface, but it actually results in IP complaints, which is something you definitely want to avoid as an Amazon seller, especially if you are new. Welcome back to my channel, or if you are new here, I'm Daniel, and I'm a 27-year-old full-time Amazon retail and online arbitrage seller going on 4 years now, which has allowed me to do over $1 million in revenue every year, profiting more than 80% of Americans without ever working a traditional 9-to-5 in my life. I've also built a 100% free Amazon community with one goal in mind, and that is providing more value than any other Amazon group or community. And I have to say, the members have been blown away, so if you have not already done so, be sure you join the free Amazon community, linked both in the description below along with on my page. You'll be glad you did so. Now that all of that is out of the way, make sure you subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave a comment. It would help me so much more than you ever know. And now let's dive into 8 products I found at Ross that can be resold onto Amazon for a profit. So the first item we found was this Adidas book bag for $22.99, but here on Amazon using the SellerAmp app, you can see that the buy box right now is $56. So when we input our buy cost of $22.99, you can see that we're going to profit $15.15 with each one we sell. While this item is also ranked in the top 1% of its category, and scrolling down here just to be transparent, I am offering this item FBM with an estimated shipping cost of $9. So when we scroll down to Keepa here, you can see that this is a variation listing and that Amazon is in stock often. So what we're going to do here is actually click on variations and make sure that this black bag here is the one that is actually selling on Amazon. So here we have all the different variations being sold on Amazon, and we're just going to scroll through this looking for this black bag, which you can see is the last option here, which is actually good news because it has majority of the reviews and ratings, which means that this bag is actually selling on Amazon. So going back to the price history, we're going to go through Keepa and see if anyone besides Amazon is ever getting sales, because when we click into data and buy box statistics here, you can see that Amazon is the buy box winner 98% of the time. So this item might not actually sell for us. So we're going to click into price history and just go back to last back to school season to see what was going on here. So last August through September, we zoom in on this, and when we scroll through here on the buy box, you can see that Amazon is on the buy box very often. In fact, we never see Amazon out of the buy box. But just because Amazon is in the buy box does not mean that other sellers aren't getting any sales. It just means that Amazon is getting majority of the sales. And here you can see that the sales rank is actually 156. So since Ross only had one of these items, this would still be an item I'd buy in FBM, even if I have to undercut Amazon down to around $50 here. When we input 50, since Amazon is priced at 56, if I have to sell this $6 under Amazon, we're still going to profit $10 with each one we sell, or 44% return on my investment. So this is definitely a bag I picked up at Ross. I have it listed FBM, and I will let you guys know if or when I sell this bag. So here we have another book bag. This one is branded in North Face, and when we look here, you can see that there is no sales rank, but the buy box is $68, and this was at Ross for $36, which looks like we're going to profit around $10 with each one we sell. And again, scrolling down, I am offering this FBM, and this one's a little bit bigger than that last Adidas bag, so I am estimating the FBM shipping cost to be $11 here, which is going to leave us the profit of $10. So scrolling down to Keepa here, you can see that this is actually in the category of laptop and backpack. So this is not selling as often as something that is in another category like sports and outdoors, but it is still selling on Amazon. You can see that the offer count is rising here, but when we click into the all 397 days, you can see that the buy box is rotating and that the sales rank is going up and down along with the offer count, which indicates that sellers are actually selling this item. So with back to school coming up right now, I see no reason why this item would not sell onto Amazon with the data provided. And if we click into the data here, you can see that this item is getting positive reviews along with the buy box rotating, and Amazon is always out of stock. So Ross had 6 of these book bags, so I picked all 6 of them up, and I'm expecting to profit around $60 when I sell all of them. So again, with back to school coming up, there are listings getting saturated with sellers, but this listing here only has a few sellers, as we saw when we click into the price history. So even though the seller count is rising right now, this book bag still has enough meat on the bone to profit. So again, this is a bag I am picking up at Ross for $36 and selling on Amazon to make some good, healthy profit. So this Squishmallow was at Ross for $8.99, but here you can see that the buy box is $24.88, which shows we're going to be left with around a $5 profit with each one we sell. And scrolling down, I'm estimating my shipping cost to be around $7, but it actually might be a little bit less. But I always like to be conservative with my shipping costs so that I make sure I do profit. And the really nice thing about Squishmallow is you can bag and tag a lot of these, which if you do not know what that means, you can just put these Squishmallows in a poly bag and then slap a shipping label on them and send it off to your customer. So it's super easy to ship off. But when we scroll down to Keepa here, you can see that the listing is only 10 days old, but you can see that the sales rank has dropped and that the buy box is on the listing, showing that people are getting sales. So although this is a new listing without a lot of data, there is enough data on this listing for me to know that I can buy all 8 of these from Ross and probably sell them on Amazon, making around $40 profit in total once all 8 of these sell. So again, this item is at Ross for $8.99, selling on Amazon for $24.88, which is going to leave us around a $5 profit. And my Ross had 8 of these, so I am looking at about $40 in profit total once I sell all 8 units. Here, this Nike lunchbox is being found at Ross for $19.99, but here on Amazon, you see that the buy box is $50, which is going to leave us a $7.25 profit with each one we sell if we FBA this. But if we choose to FBM it, I would imagine this cost around $12 to ship, which would actually leave us a profit around $10. So let's scroll down to Keepa and see what's going on down here, because this item is selling, but the buy box looks to be FBM and FBA. So if we're selling this FBM at $47.99 with a shipping cost of around $12, you can see we're only going to profit $8.40, but that is still around a 42% return on my investment, which is super good. So scrolling back down to Keepa, if we click into the data here, you want to look at the buy box statistics and see if they are rotating, which here you can see that this seller has the buy box 54% of the time and that he just won the buy box, while the other sellers look like they have not won the buy box in 9 days or so. So this would be a listing you want to proceed with caution, although you could probably sell 1 or 2 of this item if you just have a couple of them in your store. And looking back over at the price history, you can see that this listing is only 69 days old. So again, there is not a ton of data on this listing to know that that seller is actually getting the buy box 55% of the time. Other sellers are probably still getting sales. So if there are just a few of this item at your Ross for $20, you could definitely pick this up and make some pretty good money pretty quick. So here we have this Slushy Machine, which was at Ross for $60, and they only had 1 of them. But when we look here on Amazon, the buy box is $120. So when we input the buy cost of $60, you see that we're going to profit around $23 when we sell the one that we found, while this BSR is also in the top 1% of its category. So scrolling down to Keepa, you can see that Boosted Brands is on this buy box very, very often. In fact, when we click into the data here and then the buy box statistics, you can see that Boosted Brands own this buy box 68% of the time, while also having 516 in stock. So if we were sourcing this item like OA or something like that, this is definitely an item you would not want to buy multiple of. But since Ross only had 1 of this item and we can still profit 40% return on our investment, this is an item that we could probably FBM. So scrolling down here, if we FBM this, it would probably cost me around $25 to ship, I would imagine, which would only result in a $16 profit, which is still a 30% return on our investment. So since we were already at Ross, I picked this up for $60. I'm looking to move it on Amazon for around $120. If I have to, I can undercut this seller and get out of the listing without losing money. But looking at Keepa here, I really believe that I will be able to sell this product one time and make around $15. So this is a product that I did pick up at Ross for $60, looking to sell on Amazon for around $120, hoping to profit around $15 to $20 after I sell this unit. So this Nike golf hat is at Ross for $10, but the buy box on Amazon here is $28, but it is an FBM offer. So we want to scroll down and make sure I'm offering this FBM, which here, if I toggle over to FBM and I input my buy cost of $6, you can see that we're going to profit around $8 with each one we sell. But if you do want to send this off to FBA, you would just toggle this back on and see that you're still going to profit around $7.36. But scrolling up here, you can see that the BSR is 134. We have some alerts here, but you can can see none of them mean that we can't sell this item. So scrolling down to Keepa here, you can see that this item is actually selling. In fact, it was selling for more than it currently is. The BSR does fluctuate a good amount, but this item is selling. Like just yesterday, you can see that the sales rank was 266 and now it's all the way back down to 100 and something, around 133. So this item has sold recently. So for $10, we can profit around $7. And then scrolling back down to Keepa, you can click into the data here and you can see that the current buy box, the 30-day average, the 60-day average, and the 90-day average are all sub 200,000, which means that this item is selling, along with the buy box statistics that Amazon's always out of stock. All of this is showing that this item does have reviews. The last price change was just now. So again, this is an item we can confidently buy at Ross for $10, resell onto Amazon for around $28, and net profit around $7.36 after shipping and all fees. So again, back to school is right around the corner, and this Nike lunchbox is being found at Ross for $10, but here on Amazon, we can see that the buy box is $23 while also being an FBA offer. So when we input our buy cost of 10 here, you can see that we're going to profit 31% return on our investment, or just over $3 profit, but there are 61 FBA offers and 77 FBM offers for a grand total of 138 offers. So scrolling down to Keepa here, you can see that this listing has been saturated as of late, which makes sense because these bags are hitting the stores like Ross, Marshalls, things like that. So you could sell this right now, sending it into FBA for around $23 possibly, but you could also hold it because down here you can see that the item was still selling on Amazon, but closer to around $26 to $29, which would result in us profiting more. So you have two options here. You could wait for the listing to die down a little bit so that you can make a little bit more profit, or you can churn this inventory quickly, take around your 30% return on your investment or $3 profit and move on to the next item. But clicking into data here, you can see that Amazon is always out of stock on this listing, and that the sales rank does hold pretty steady around the 30-day, 60-day, 90-day, and 180-day, along with over 300 being bought in just the last month with over 4.6 stars. So this is an item definitely selling on Amazon. So for $10 selling for $23, again, you could profit around $3 profit right now. With back to school right around the corner, in fact, we're in the midst of back to school right now, this item is selling on Amazon, so keep your eyes out on it when you are out at stores like Ross, Marshalls, TJ Maxx, Burlington's, things like that, and go make some money. So I am about to share with you an item next that looks good on the surface but actually results in an IP complaint. But right now we have this Nerf scooter being found at Ross for $30 but being sold on Amazon currently for $88.20. So when we input all of that information, you can see that we're going to profit $17.40 with each one we sell. And scrolling down here, we just want to make sure we are offering this FBA. But if we would want to offer this FBM, I would estimate my shipping cost to be closer to around $25, which would result in around a $19 profit. And scrolling down to Keepa here, you can see that Amazon is on the listing often. However, here you can see that the buy box is not Amazon, meaning that other sellers are actually getting the sales on this item, even though Amazon is in stock on the item. And scrolling up here, you can see that right now it's ranked in the top 3% of its category, but anything under 200,000 in toys and games does actually sell. I know that for a fact. So this is going to be a little bit slower of a seller, but it is still going to sell on Amazon. You can see that the offer count went up here. But again, this item is going under 100,000 in toys and games often when we scroll into here. Third-party sellers are getting the buy box, so you could do this FBA or FBM, make around $15 on this scooter. My Ross had 2 of these. So if you're out at Ross, you see this Nerf scooter, you can sell it on Amazon. I would definitely suggest picking it up. And even right here, you can see that the buy box offer is an FBM seller, which is good news for us. And if you want to verify that, we can actually scroll down here and we can go to data and we can go to buy box statistics, and then we can actually go to FBA here and you can see that all the check marks are FBA offers. So when we unclick that, you can see that just now, 2 minutes ago, 1 day ago, 2 days ago, and 3 days ago, all of these sellers winning the buy box are FBM offers, which is again, super good news for us. And this just verified what I told you in my previous statement. So here we have a Little Tikes T-ball set for $23 at Ross, selling on Amazon for $70, which looks like we're going to profit $19 with each one we sell, or around 80% return on our investment. But here you can see that there is an IP alert on SellerAmp, but SellerAmp is not always accurate with this. So what we're going to want to do here is actually scroll down to Keepa and see if there are any signs of an IP complaint. And here you can see that there actually is, because when the seller count drops, that does indicate that there is actually an IP complaint complaint on the listing, and that is something you would want to avoid. And scrolling in here, if we zoom in on this, you can see that this has actually happened multiple times, especially when there's gaps here. We can interpret that Little Tykes is probably making IP complaints on this listing, so this would be something that we would want to avoid and be an item that, even though it looks good on the surface, when we dive in a little bit deeper, this is an item right here that we would want to leave at Ross and not buy to resell onto Amazon, because again, the last thing we want to deal with as Amazon sellers is IP complaints. So if SellerAmp ever alerts you as IP, it does not always mean it is accurate, so always scroll down, check Keepa, and make sure you are staying safe. I hope this video provided you with value and gave you a better understanding of what retail arbitrage is, how it works, how I make my buying decisions, and will lead to you making more money in your Amazon business. If you have not already done so, make sure you join the 100% free Amazon community, linked both in the description below along with on my page. I promise you'll be glad you did so. In addition to that, if you have not done so, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and comment down below. It would help me so much more than you know, and I'll see you guys next time.